Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of Management of Financial Services, I was explaining about the capital market instruments. What is capital market instrument and why it is used, how it is used, I started explaining about that. So capital market instruments are simply those instruments which are used to raise long-term finance for the corporates or for the companies. So these are the instruments which are used in the capital market. So in the previous session, I explained about the various types of capital market instruments. The first one is equity shares, and then I explained about the preference shares. So in my previous session, I have already explained what is preference shares, what do you mean by preference shares, and what are the various types of preference shares. So basically, preference shares, they get preference in the payment of dividend, and they also get preference at the time of liquidation of the company during the repayment of capital. They get a fixed rate of dividend, and they do not have any kind of voting rights. So this is the basic concept of preference share. So in this session, first of all, I am going to explain the various features of preference shares, then the advantages and disadvantages, and then I am going to explain a new capital market instrument that is called debenture. Okay, so the feature, as you can see on the screen, the features of preference share. The first feature here says that it is irredeemable, means it do not have any kind of maturity date, or it do not have any kind of time period after which the shares are going to get matured. So it is irredeemable even when funds come to the organization through the investment of preference shares. The funds remain with the organization till the liquidation of the company. So it do not have any kind of maturity date, and it is irredeemable in nature, which means the organization do not have to pay the money back. They are supposed to pay the money back only at the time of the liquidation of the company. Okay. The second feature that you are seeing on the screen is that fixed rate of dividend. See, preference shareholders have they enjoy a fixed rate of dividends. So preference shares get a fixed rate of dividend, and they also get priority in terms of the claim on the income. Whatever profit the company has earned, the preference shares have first claim over the equity shares. Equity shareholders will only get after meeting all the obligations of the company. Then whatever the amount of profit is left, the equity shares will get in the form of dividend. But in case of preference shares, they get a fixed rate of dividend out of the profit. So whatever is the amount of profit, they will get that fixed rate of dividend. Okay. The next feature is that preference in repayment of capital. Like I already said that whenever the company liquidates, or during the time of the liquidation of the company, when all the assets are converted into cash, preference shareholders will get first preference before the equity shareholders. So whatever the assets the organization has, they will be converted into cash, and from that amount of money, preference shareholders will have first claim over the equity shares. Equity shares will have the residual claim. So like in the payment of dividend, they get preference. In the same way, in the payment of repayment of capital during the time of liquidation, they also get the preference. So they get the share before the share out of the capital before the equity shareholders. Okay. The next one is no voting rights. Unlike equity shareholders, preference shareholders do not enjoy any kind of voting right. They cannot vote regarding any kind of important decision taken by the board of directors of the company. They cannot point out anything in the management. Whatever decision the management takes, they cannot vote against it. They cannot vote on behalf of it. So they do not enjoy any kind of voting right. Okay. So that's why the power remains with the management. It is not distributed with the it is not shared with the preference shareholders. Now the last one is hybrid. It is considered to be a hybrid form of the security. Okay. Now why it is considered as a hybrid form? Now you can see that preference shares has some of the features from like equity shares. like they are irredeemable in nature, they do not have a maturity date. So these kind of features are similar to the equity shares, but like the fixed rate of dividend and in case of no voting right, so these are the features which are like debt financing. So it can be said that it is a hybrid form of security which has features of both equity shares and debt financing. That's why it is considered a hybrid form of security. So these are the features of preference shares. Now I'm going to explain what are the various advantages of preference shares. First of all, the first advantage is that no legal obligation to pay the dividend. Now, the company do not have any kind of legal obligation to pay the dividend, even if they are supposed to pay a fixed rate of dividend. In case if the organization, if the company do not have any kind of profit, they are not obliged to pay the dividend to the preference shareholders. So there is no legal obligation. The dividend needs to be paid out of profit only. So if the organization does not have profit, they are not supposed to pay the dividend. But in case of cumulative preference share, the dividend of those years in which they were not paid any kind of dividend, there were no profit. So cumulative shareholders will get the total amount of dividend for those years also in which the organization did not have any profit, or in the year in which the organization did not pay the dividend. So unless it is a cumulative preference shares, the organization does not have any obligation to pay the dividend to the preference shareholders. Okay. The next advantage is that it provides long-term capital to the company. So it is also one type of permanent capital because it does not have a maturity date. So it serves as a long-term capital to the organization. Here, the next one is no voting right. Now the preference shareholders, like I said, do not enjoy any kind of voting right. So how it is an advantage to the company? From the point of view of the organization, it acts as an advantage because the management is free to take any kind of decision without the interference of the preference shareholders. Unlike equity shareholders, preference shareholders cannot interfere in the decision of the management. So there is no conflict between the management and the preference shareholders. So from the point of view of the organization, the feature of the preference share, that is it does not have any kind of voting rights, acts as an advantage for the on the behalf of the management, on the behalf of the company. Okay. The next advantage here is that it is a superior security over the equity shares. Okay. Now, if we compare preference shares with equity shares, we can easily find out the difference between equity and preference shares. Equity shareholders have residual claim over the profit, over the income, as well as over the capital, that is repayment of capital. But in case of preference shares, they have a preferred claim over the income as well as the during the time of repayment of capital. So if we compare preference shares with equity shares, we can easily find out that preference shares are more superior to over equity shares because they have first claim over the income as well as the repayment of capital. So from that point of view, preference shares are considered to be superior over or superior to the equity shares. Okay. The next feature or the next advantage here is says that no specific assets are pledged. So unlike debentures, preference shares are not backed by any kind of mortgage or any kind of security. So the company is supposed to issue preference shares. Investors who want to purchase preference shares, they will purchase, they will give the amount of money that is mentioned, that is the amount of the preference share, and they do not mortgage any kind of security over the shares. So that is one of the biggest advantage of preference shares, because the person who pays the amount of money, they pay a certain amount of money, and it is limited to only the face value of the share or market value of the share which the person has purchased, and in return the organization just gives them dividend, and at the time of liquidation the amount of share, the price of the total amount of share is paid back to the holder of the share, but they do not mortgage any kind of security in this transaction. Okay, the next one is it enhances the credit worthiness of the firm. So how does preference shares enhances credit worthiness? Now when the shareholders, the preference shareholders get regular dividend without any kind of problems, they get regular dividend, and this regular dividend actually reflects that the organization has good amount of profit, which increases the credit worthiness of the organization. So regular payment of dividends to preference shares reflects the regular profit of the organization, which enhances the credit worthiness of the firm. So these are the various advantages of preference shares. Now I am going to explain the various disadvantages of the preference shares. So the first disadvantage that you all can see on the screen is that expensive source of finance. How it is expensive source of finance? First of all, they have to pay a fixed rate of dividend. They have a claim over the repayment of asset. So in comparison to equity shares, they are expensive because equity shares holders do not get fixed rate of dividend. They only get the residual claim over the income. So in that case, preference shares are considered to be the expensive source of finance. Okay. And as preference shareholders, these investors also expect to get higher rate of dividend because it is preference shares, they expect that they get a fixed rate of dividend as well as a higher rate of dividend. So this makes these expectations from the investors actually makes this source of finance little bit more expensive. Okay. The next one is it is not a deductible expenses. Now usually what happens when you get some kind of interest from debenture or any other source, that interest rate is deducted from the taxable income. But in case of dividends, dividends are not deducted from the taxable income. So as a preference shareholder, if I get a large amount of money in form of dividend, I have to pay tax on that. So it is not a deductible expense from a, we can say, from the shareholder point of view. So in this case, people prefer not to invest in preference shares because whatever dividend they get, it will be taxable in comparison to the debentures, because interest are deductible from the or they are deducted from the taxable income. Okay. So the next disadvantage is that delay in payment of dividend affects the credit worthiness of the firm. So if the organization decides that they need profit for other reasons, for expansion of the organization or for taking crucial decisions, or if they do not have sufficient profit or no profit at all, during those years, the preference shareholders will not get any dividend. So this kind of this kind of behavior will actually decreases, it actually affects the credit worthiness of the firm. If the organization fails to pay dividend at a regular form in a regular pattern, it decreases or it affects negatively the credit worthiness of the firm. Like I said, if the organization pays dividend at a regular basis, then like it increases the credit worthiness of the firm. And if the organization is not able to pay the dividend at a regular basis, then it affects the credit worthiness of the firm. So to some extent, this point is a disadvantage from the point of view of the organization, because it affects the credit worthiness, the reputation of the firm. Okay. The next one is market price of preference shares. It fluctuates much more than the debentures. Now, if we see the market price of the shares actually are more fluctuating than the debentures. The price of the debentures, the market price of the debentures are not that, they do not get highly influenced. They are not they are not influenced, they do not fluctuate a lot. But preference shares, the market price of the preference shares, they fluctuate a lot, which affects the preference shareholders. Okay, so from that point of view, it acts as a disadvantage, because when the market price fluctuates a lot, people do not want to invest in preference shares. So that is the reason because of which organization who want to even issue preference shares, they hold back, because fluctuations in market price will affect the investors, point of view. They would like to invest in those securities which are less fluctuating in nature, like the debentures. So this acts as a disadvantage for the organization. Okay, so these are the various demerits or disadvantages of preference shares. So I have already explained the features, advantages, and the disadvantages. So this is all about preference shares, how they are issued, what are the benefits of preference shares, and what are the demerits of the preference shares. Now I'm going to explain another capital market instrument, that is called debenture. Okay, so debenture is an acknowledgement of debt. It is an instrument which has the seal of the company, and it proves that it acts as an evidence of debt, that the organization owes this much amount of money to the holder of the debenture. So the holder of the debenture has the right, or has we can say that the organization needs to pay the amount of money with interest to the debenture holder. Okay, so these are basically raised by the loans are actually raised by the issue of debentures. When organization wants a large sum of money, they would prefer to issue debentures, and they raise money in the form of debenture, and they act as a loan to the company. When a institution purchases a debenture, it's like a loan for the organization. Okay, so we can say that debentures are acknowledgement of debt, and it is an instrument which has the seal of the organization, seal of the company, which actually issues the debenture. Okay, and the debenture holder, the institution or the person who purchases the debenture, is actually acts like a creditor to the company, as if they have given credit to the certain organization, and they will get the money back with a certain amount of interest with it. So that is a debenture, and debenture holders get a regular interest, or we can say a fixed rate of interest. So whatever interest is fixed on the debenture, it is actually a little bit higher than other dividends and all that, and the rate of interest on debenture is fixed, and they are paid regularly. Okay, so that is one of the basic feature of debenture. Okay, so what does debenture actually means? We can say it is an acknowledgement of debt, it is an instrument, and under the seal of the organization, and it actually says that the organization is supposed to pay a certain amount of money back to the debenture holders, and the company will also pay interest at regular intervals, whether it is 1 year or 6 months. The interval will be mentioned in the debenture. So they will pay back the amount of money, a large sum of money, to the debenture holder, and they will also pay interest at the regular interval. Now these debenture holder can be like in the form of any kind of loan, but it can be also backed by certain mortgage, or it can be backed by some kind of asset. So debenture can also be secured and unsecured. It is considered to be secured when it is backed by an asset. It is considered to be unsecured when it is not backed by any asset. So debentures can be like in the form of loan, or it can be in the form of any other, or it can be secured by fixed asset or fixed or floating charge. So this is debenture. This is the actual meaning, or we can say the actual concept of debenture. Now in India, debentures are issued by the corporate houses, the companies, with permission. They need to get permission in order to issue debenture from SEBI, and without their permission they cannot issue debentures. Okay, so these are the debentures which are issued by the corporate houses or the companies. Okay, now let us discuss about the features of debentures. What are the what are the important features of debentures which makes it better, or we can say which makes it different from equity shares or preference shares or any other capital instrument. So the first feature that you all can see on the screen is that, so the first point that you all are seeing on the screen is that it provides long-term funds to the capital. So unlike equity and preference shares, they are not irredeemable. They are redeemed, but the time period is very long, whether it is 5 year or 10 year, because it is a long-term source of fund. The time period is also around 5 to 10 years. So it provides a long-term funds to the organization, and after a very long period of time, it will be redeemed. For that period of time, the money stays with the organization. Okay. The next one is a fixed rate of interest is payable on debenture. Now, this is feature is that this says that the interest which is paid on debentures are fixed and they are paid at regular intervals. So this is one of the most important feature of the debenture, because unlike equity shares, they have a fixed rate of interest and they are also paid on a regular basis. Okay. And another important thing is that the interest needs to be paid by the organization irrespective of their earnings. So whatever may be the profit of the organization, they have an obligation to pay the interest to the debenture holders. Unlike the preference shareholders, where the companies do not have the obligation to pay the dividend. But in this case, the organization have to pay the interest at the regular interval, whatever is the fixed, whatever the time period is fixed for it, and it does not influence by the earnings of the organization. They have to pay the interest anyhow. Okay. The next one is debenture holders have priority of claim on assets of the company. So before preference shares, before the payment of dividends to the preference shares, whatever profit is earned, the first claim is given to the debenture holders. The debenture holders have first claim on the income, or we can say on the assets of the organization. So at the time of liquidation of the company, whatever amount of money gathered, whatever amount of money the organization has, after converting the assets into in liquid form, debenture holders have the priority over that assets. So they have preference over the claim on the assets of the company during the time of liquidation. Okay. So they get the first payment before preference and equity shareholders. Clear? The next one is debenture holders are the creditors of the company. They do not have any kind of voting rights like the preference shareholders. They do not get involved in the decision making process of the management. They are simply treated like the creditors. They give money to the organization, they get interest on a regular basis, and after a particular time period, the amount of money will be repaid to the debenture holders. So in this sense, it is considered, they are considered to be the creditors of the organization. Clear? The next one is issue of debentures sometimes provide a call feature. So what is a call feature? So this feature actually gives an advantage to the organization which has issued debenture, that they can redeem the debenture before the maturity date at a specific price. So this feature actually provides the opportunity to the organization, to the company, to redeem the debenture before the time of the maturity and at a fixed price. So that is called the call feature. They can redeem it before the time of maturity, before the maturity date. Okay. So these are the various features of debentures. Now let us discuss the types of debentures. There are, you can see there are 8 types of debentures that we have. So let us discuss the types of debenture one by one. So the first one is simple or unsecured debenture. It simply means that these debentures are not backed by any kind of asset. Clear? So these securities are not secured, or they are not, we can say they are not given any security on assets. So they are simply treated like any unsecured creditors, and they do not even enjoy any kind of priority. So the holders of unsecured debentures are simply treated like unsecured creditors to the organization. So it simply means that they do not have any security on assets. So these debentures are not backed by assets. Clear? The next one is bearer debenture. So bearer debenture means it can be transferred from one person to another person very easily, and whoever holds the debenture during the time of maturity will get the payment by the organization. So it is easily transferable from one person to another person. The next one is secured or mortgage debenture. Secured or mortgage debenture means, unlike the first one, it has a security on asset. So these debentures are mortgaged. They have certain assets backing these kinds of debenture. Clear? So if the organization, in case of mortgage debenture, they are not supposed to pay the interest to the debenture holder, they can sell the debentures to any other party. So that is secured or mortgage debenture. The next one is registered debenture. So in case of bearer debenture, it was like a negotiable instrument which was easily transferred from one party to another party. But this one is registered, means whoever purchases the debenture will be the registered owner of the debenture, and the payment will be given to that party, to that person only, on whose names the debenture is registered. So that is a registered debenture. Clear? So this debenture is also transferable, but unlike bearer's debenture, which was easily transferable by mere delivery of it, this registered debenture, if in order to transfer it from one party to another party, they have to go through a lot of procedures, lot of legal procedures. The transferor and transferee must come into agreement, must sign a transfer voucher and all that. So that is registered debenture. So transfer of these kind of debenture are not that easy in comparison to bearer debenture. Clear? The next one is redeemable debenture. So as you already know that debenture has a maturity time period, maturity date, it has a limited time period, and after the expiration of that time period, the amount of money, the total sum of money will be repaid back to the debenture holders. So that is called redeemable debenture. A debenture with a maturity date with a fixed time period, after which the money will be repaid to the debenture holder. Clear? The next one is irredeemable debenture. So these debentures do not have a fixed time period. They do not have a maturity time period, unlike the redeemable debenture. Clear? The next one is convertible debenture. Convertible debenture means after a particular time period, these debentures will be converted into equity shares. Now, it must be mentioned in the debenture that they are convertible debenture, and after what time period these will be converted into equity shares. So, every debenture cannot be considered as a convertible debenture. It needs to be mentioned in the debenture. Clear? The next one is non-convertible debenture. Non-convertible debenture means it cannot be converted into equity shares at any point of time. Clear? So these are the various types of debentures. Clear? Now let us discuss the advantages of debentures. What are the advantages a debenture or a debenture holder has? The first one is secured investment. Now you already know that debentures are backed by security. They are secured. They have security on assets. Unless they are, we can say, unsecured debentures, most of the debentures are secured. So for the investors who want to invest in some kind of secured instruments, this is a very good form of investment. So because it is a secured kind of investment, investors are attracted to debentures. Clear? The next one is fixed return. Now, as you all already know that it has a fixed rate of interest. So the organization, the company who has issued debentures will pay interest on regular intervals irrespective of their earnings. So the return is fixed, and this increases the number of investors who would like to invest in those investments through which they can get regular income. It acts as a regular source of income for many debenture holders. So this has one of the biggest advantage of debenture is it has fixed return in the form of regular interest and fixed rate of interest. Here, the next one is stable prices. Now the market price of debentures are not that kind of fluctuating. They are very stable. They do not fluctuate until and unless something major happens. So the market price remains stable, due to which more and more number of people are drawn towards the debentures. Here, and it is one of the we can say because of this feature, it is easy for the companies to issue debentures and get investment. Clear? The next one is non-interference in management. As debenture holders do not have any voting right, they cannot interfere in any kind of decision taken by the management. They don't have voting right. They cannot be part of decision making process of the management. So this makes management free from any kind of interference. They can take decision based on the interest of all the parties of the organization, based on the interest of the entire organization. Okay, so this also acts as a advantage from the organization point of view. The next one is economical. So how debentures are economical? So it is a cheaper method of raising finance, because the rate of interest which is paid to the debenture holder is very low. Because they are paying interest on a regular interval, on a regular basis, the rate of interest is very low, and the procedure and everything in which they issue the debentures also involves less amount of money. So from that point of view, it is very economical if we compare it with equity shares or preference shares. Clear? The next one is availability of funds. This is another advantage of the debentures. Clear? So as it is very economical in comparison to other capital market instruments, it is very easy for the organization to issue debentures and raise a large amount of money. And even if it is redeemable, they redeem it after a very long time period. So the funds will be available with the organization for a very long time. So from that point of view, there is a availability of funds for the organization for a very long time period. Clear? And it does not even have any kind of disadvantage of equity shares of preference shares. So from that point of view, this is one of the most important advantage of debentures. And the last advantage is that regular source of income. So from the point of view of a debenture holder, as a debenture holder, if someone invests in debenture, purchases a debenture, they will get a regular source of income through regular payment of interest, because the company has to pay interest to the debenture holders at a particular time period on a regular basis. So this acts as a regular source of income for many investors. Here, now let us discuss the disadvantages of debentures. The first one that you are seeing on the screen is that permanent burden of interest. Like I said, the debenture is redeemable, but after a long time period, and during that time period, the company has to pay the interest without failing. They have to pay the interest whatever time period they have fixed on a regular basis. So it creates a burden for the organization, because they have to pay interest irrespective of their profit. So it increases the burden of the organization. The next one is it limits company's credit. So as the assets of the organization are mortgaged, while issuing the debentures, they are mortgaged for the debentures. It is actually reflected, or it is actually, we can say, everybody knows about what are the assets which are backed by the debentures, which are mortgaged through debentures. So it makes it difficult for the organization to raise funds from other source like banks or any financial institutions, because they are aware that what are the assets which are held mortgaged from the, or which are held mortgaged by the debentures. So they are aware that these many assets are already mortgaged with the debenture holders, and other assets are not, many assets are available for further loans and everything. So this kind of feature actually makes it difficult for the organization to raise funds from other sources, because they are aware about the total assets the company has and what are the assets, how many assets are mortgaged with the debenture holders. So it reduces the credit limit of the organization. They are not able to take advantage of other source of, we can say, other sources through which they can raise funds. Yeah. The next one is no right to participate in company management. So another disadvantage is that being a debenture holder, they invest a large sum of money in the organization, and in comparison to that sum of money, they cannot participate in management, any decision regarding the organization, regarding the betterment of the organization. So it serves as a disadvantage from the debenture holder point of view, because even if they are investing a large amount of money in the organization, uh, but still they cannot participate in, they do not have voting right, they cannot participate in the management decision making process. Okay. And the last disadvantage of debenture is that interest on debenture are fully taxable. Clear? So that was not a disadvantage, that was written by mistake. So this is the last disadvantage of debenture, that the debenture holders do not enjoy any kind of voting right, or they are not able to participate in the company's management or in the decision making of the management. Clear? So these are the disadvantages of the debentures. Clear? So in the next session, I'm going to explain about the last capital market instrument, that is bonds. What are the various types of bonds and what are its advantages and disadvantages. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.